You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Today's show, I'm going to be talking about God of War. I told you guys it was coming. This is a spoiler-based podcast, so if you haven't finished the game, please stop the podcast. Come back when you finish the game. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some Dragonball news. Yes, it's been a while, but I do have Dragonball news for you guys. I got some Hogwarts Legacy to talk about. Just saw some new gameplay. I think the game is going to be stupendous. And I'm also going to talk about some Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. All of that and more. Oh, did I fail to mention I have a guest on the show today, and he goes by the name of Dig. He's been on the show before. It's been a while. We got together because we've both been playing God of War. We're going to talk about it, our experiences, how we feel about it, and, you know, maybe some other things sprinkled in there. We might talk about what he's playing right now, what he plans on playing, what anime he's watching currently right now, what he's looking forward to, and things of that nature. So without further ado, let's begin the show. Welcome to the show, Dig, bro. How have you been?
Man, I've been good. I'm just happy to be here. You know, I've been here on the show a couple times, but now to come back after all these time. I know you mentioned you was around 289 episodes, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, 289 episodes. We're trying to get it, man. You know, trying to get better. Take it one day at a time, man. That's what we're doing. But what we're here for right now, though, is God of War. God of War Ragnarok, man, is here. We both finished the game. I want to talk about your thoughts on the game. Yours, since we talked, have been slightly different, but I want to get your take on it, and I'm definitely going to give my take on it. So let's start with you. Like, what do you think of the game since you finished the game?
I loved it. I think to give it a little perspective, I liked Elden Ring. I would say that was my game of the year.
Okay.
Really, because I like the multiplayer aspect, and I put a lot of hours into it. Had a good time, but I put this right up there. And as far as like just picking up where the last one left off, I think they did a good job there. Just even from the intro, I mean, right out the gate, you get to fight with Thor. You know, everybody had a lot to say about the redesign on him. I was actually watching some videos yesterday where they had like this Norse mythology expert reacting to it, and he was just breaking down different things that they had changed versus, I guess, what he liked, what he didn't like. It was actually interesting because he worked on Assassin's Creed Valhalla as well.
Okay.
Like, he actually was working on that, but he was breaking down some things. And just talking about Thor, for one, how he has the red hair. They did more of a, what do you call it, the strong man.
Yeah.
As far as his build versus what we've seen with Marvel.
I prefer that Thor, actually.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, now, having played the game, you know, a lot of people had mixed, I guess, opinions on it, but I think I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Mixed opinions.
And even the character, he's up there, one of my favorite ones.
Oh, your favorite in the game, Thor?
I wouldn't say my very favorite, but he was a well done character. Is what I'm saying.
Right. His daughter was pretty dope too.
Yeah,
actually.
Because I mean, like even in the first one, what was it? His two sons.
Yeah.
Honestly, they were kind of forgettable to me. Granted, they died, but I feel like they were kind of forgettable. Whereas this was very much so an adversary that I liked. Like they really built him out.
Yeah, they did. I agree with you on that. There was compared to the first one, like character wise, man, it's like night and day. There's so many characters crammed into this game. There's so many plot twists and shit like that too, because you know the shit with Tyr was crazy. That whole time, I thought that was him, but I don't even know if I'm assuming he's just dead, like because that's what. You know, through the whole game, that's what Odin was saying. He was like, "Hey, he's dead," and he probably was dead. He's supposed to be their version, the Norse version of the God of War in their realm. So that's why when all that shit was taking place, he was like to be honest with you, let's keep it real. He was acting like a pussy, man. I mean, straight up didn't want to fight. He didn't want no smoke, none of that. And when that shit went down in front of the house, he came out with a shield, and then he came out extra late. I'm like, and it made sense in the end why he wasn't doing that, because I'm thinking if this is who he really was, he would have been out there scrapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that whole time that's not actual Tyr. He's actually, I'm assuming he's actually dead. The real Tyr is dead, because if he wasn't, he'd be doing more shit than what he was doing. But
yeah. I liked it too though, because it really I think it showed how Odin was a real crafty guy, real I guess schemer.
Yes.
Because up until that point, I guess I just thought he was just kind of run of the mill bad guy, but I think that shows a little bit more brilliance than I was originally giving him credit for.
Yeah, they did a good job in my opinion on Odin, man. I liked his attitude. I liked the way he was. He's very He can talk really well. He can put some words in your head. I mean, he had me doubting myself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I mean, like, do I really? I mean, I kind of like Odin, man. You know what I mean? That he kind of had that kind of vibe about him, but he had you snowed the whole fucking time. That's what he does. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think a lot of the characters were really well written, and like I said, compared to the 2018 story, in my opinion. I think they took a step up. I'm not, because keep in mind, let me get this clear, make this clear. 2018 God of War is definitely one of the best games ever made too. Don't get it twisted. That was a great game, a great story, all of that. I just felt like they were able to slightly one up the story in this one, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I didn't think it was possible. I mean, a lot of people are like, you know, some people don't even agree with that. So, but I think they were able to do it with the characters that they added in here. And then they got to elaborate on some other characters that,
even the old ones, the Dwarf brothers, like in the first one, to me, I'm not going to say they were forgettable, but they were just kind of but this one, like you really come to like them, and even they get some highlight moments.
Man. Yeah. Speaking of the dwarfs, man, Brock's death, that shit hit harder to me than I thought it might hit. And they did a good job because there were some missions, actually one particular I remember where Kratos is choosing, instead of Sindri, he's picking Brock. And Sindri's all scared, like he's not gonna be able to do it right. He's gonna fuck it up or whatever. But Kratos was like, "Nah, he's gonna roll with me. I like Brock because he straight up keeps it real. He tells it how it is, you know." And that's what I liked about him too. He was just a hard version of his brother. You know what I'm saying? But he meant well. That's just how he was, you know. And when he died, though, you saw what it did to Sindri, his brother. Like it really changed him. Like when Brock died, a part of fucking Sindri died. You can see
and
it.
They really managed to connect me with that. Because like Brock, as far as how I felt about him character, he was cool. But really seeing how Sindri felt about it is what really, I guess, gave it even more impact.
It's almost like
you really felt it through him, I would say.
It's almost like he completely transformed. Like he's not. If you met Sindri after Brock's death and before, they're completely different people now. even at the end of the game, when you start the end game content, you go to the funeral and all of that. You know, he does not want to be fucked with. Like Kratos put his hand, kind of like tried to put his hand on the shoulder. Dude like grabbed his hand, is like, get your hand off me. He didn't say shit to Kratos. He just took his hand off of him, and then he just fucking disappeared because he can just that instant transmission shit like Goku. He just gone.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that shit, he's not the same, man. I don't know if anything's gonna change in game content because I know there's still some things to do, but I don't know if that's gonna change at all. I think Sindri's relationship with Kratos and Atreus, man, is at least for the foreseeable future severely strained. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was surprised to see him, I guess, stay as tough on Atreus as he did. I mean,
yeah,
all the way through the end, honestly.
Like, because that you're right. And he kind of went a little too hard on Atreus, man. Atreus is just a child. He was just trying to navigate through this crazy shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like, but like I say, in the heat of the moment, his brother, he's basically like, all bets is off. Fuck that, And I think if enough time passes, he'll eventually, realize, yeah, that was me venting, and maybe later, it can be a little bit better. But it's always like, I'll never forget, but maybe I can learn to forgive type shit. That's the
and even that
got.
part the reveal with Brock's death prior to this one, like this is the second time he died because he died in the forge accident, and Sindri went to get his soul, but only got 3 pieces of the 4, so he was never fully complete. I actually thought that would be more of a side quest or something where you got to go get that last fragment, but I think it's kind of better the way they did it, dare I say.
Yeah, and he didn't want to get brought back the first time. Yep. So now he's lost forever, supposedly. So he can't even go to Valhalla, whatever it is that they go where they go. He can't do that. So now his soul's lost. So that makes it even worse. So yeah, it's a lot to take in, and luckily we had some new dwarfs to help us on the way. Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have nobody to make our shit and upgrade my shit. I was like, yo, who's gonna upgrade my shit? If dude's not gonna help me,
one lost it.
You know what I mean? So luckily that chick, I forgot her name, the female, she's cool, so she's there. Like I said, they added a lot of characters, man. Like a lot of new characters. Like I said, Thor's daughter was a character.
I liked her.
Even Atreus' weapon, his sword, like, what was the name of it? It was Freya's brother's weapon. I didn't know that shit was Freya's brother's weapon, and Odin just took it from his ass when he burned his ass up when they had fought before.
Yeah, well, while we talking about weapons, that I wish I could remember the name of it. But
it's a female name. I know. I fucking, I don't.
I'll look it up in a second. But I really like that weapon, especially because you get to play as Atreus, obviously, and it was Ingrid.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, man.
Something like I know it started with an E.
Yeah.
But anyway, I actually liked the gameplay with that sword.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't actually have to wield it. It just kind of flew around and did its thing and blocked around you, and you could command it to attack.
Yeah, it was nasty.
So it just made me think about if we were to get a Loki game and he managed to get that sword back and, build out his skill tree, I think I could get with it.
Yeah. I actually, speaking of Atreus, they put a lot of emphasis on him in this game, and you got to play as him maybe 4 or 5 times, different segments, nice long segments.
Yeah.
I mean, percentage wise, if you compare it to Kratos's, I mean, at the whole, you're probably looking at maybe 20%, maybe a quarter. You playing as Atreus, and I'm talking about the whole game because in-game content and all that. So,
and I'm usually not a fan of splitting between multiple characters. Mostly, I'm not a fan of it. But I can say this one was okay. It didn't annoy me too much. So I think that says a lot.
Yeah, I liked playing as Atreus. He's very quick. He's fast.
Yeah.
He has stun.
He had a different feel to him.
Right, a different feel to him. I liked his stun build like that he had. Like he can make you he could get that build that stun up real quick. He moved real quick. I mean, I liked
that. Yeah, real quick.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'd like to see him in his own game. If that's what we're going.
He was watered down as far as like the moves, as far as the number of moves he could do, but he was still he did enough to where I looked forward to playing as him when I got him. And this was before he got Ingrid, the sword or whatever. But then when you add that there, it was like, yo, when you start mixing around all the combinations and stuff, man, yeah, it was nice. And
the transformations.
Yeah, all of that shit.
Lest we forget. Wow.
Mm-hmm. He had transformations, man. He's coming into his own in this game. This was kind of like his awakening. His development. It was really, really important. They wanted to emphasize that, I think, in this game, because it brings me to the ending and how, it went down. It was sad. That part of it to me was sad, that he had to leave Kratos behind to fulfill his own destiny type of thing. I'm sure they'll see each other again and all of that, but this is something that Atreus has to do. And, what I like about it is the fact that the old Kratos would not have that. But this game put you in so many scenarios, and they wanted to kind of show you that, as much as Atreus was learning to become who he is, Kratos was on the same journey, but he was trying to learn how to be a better father, just more trusting.
Not killing everything.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Holding back and trying to look at things a little bit more logical, as just living off his rage and his strength and stuff. So he was doing his own growing too. And he actually, you could tell he did not want to let Atreus go, but in his heart, he knew that Atreus was ready, because that's what this game kind of wanted us to see. All the times we played as Atreus, we were playing with him without Kratos. And we were trying to, basically do our own thing. And Kratos had to live with, okay, he's out there now. I got to just have faith that he's going to be okay, and that, he's going to be strong enough to do all this on his own. And like clockwork, Atreus was always, making it out. You know what I'm saying? I was coming through. So, yeah, man, I think letting Atreus do his thing, and figure out what he got to do, find the other lost giants and all that, I think that's dope. I think they'll come back together, like I said, again, eventually. And, like I said, that could segue into another game. And I'm assuming, I've heard rumors. We talked about it a little bit on the phone before we got on here, but there's stuff going on now. There's a boss fight. I don't know the boss fight. This is something I literally just heard before we started recording this podcast, that there's a boss.
You know what you fight?
Huh?
What do you fight? Is it
one of the bosses in the game is telling you something. Is kind of prophesizing a future event that's going to take place. And I think they were saying that Corey Balrog was saying, was kind of co-signing that shit. Like, so I don't know. Remember I told you that they were talking about doing stuff in the Egyptian mythology, kind of like they were teasing something like that, something I heard. So they're not, look, this franchise is too money, okay, to just let it just marinate. And this is basically like one of the staples of Sony. When I think Sony, man, I think Kratos, like off top of my head. Just like when I used to think Sega and I used to think Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario for Nintendo. Like he's that guy. So
that's like I was saying with the ending where he looked at the back of the panel and he saw that, I guess basically he was being worshipped and idolized. But I was saying that I see it already, like I guess the real world ramifications. Like he is a character that a lot of gamers think of, like you said, it's synonymous with Sony. Right.
Kratos to me is like the Incredible Hulk. If you throw him in somebody's planet or somebody's realm, with enough time passes, he's gonna take that motherfucker over. You're gonna come back years later and it's gonna be Kratos sitting on some giant golden chair, okay, like you said, being worshipped by everyone, and anyone who tried to get in his way is gone now. So, he's just a beast. He's just, I just love it. I'm staring at him right now. I literally, the screen, he's holding his axe. I'm staring at him. He's looking menacing as fuck. His beard is kind of swaying in the wind. And literally, I was literally trying to beat these set in-game content. Some of those fucking, what are they called? The fucking warriors, those gravestones. Yeah.
The champions.
Yeah, those champions. Yeah. Those gravestones are crazy, man. They're definitely challenging, man. They got this shit. I only beat like 5 out of the 12.
I think I got 6 of them.
See, you got 6. Yeah, see. So I'm constantly trying to upgrade my gear. My gear is not even maxed out. I don't have anything maxed out. Do. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you did that. You must have rolled around and did some shit because, man, my axe is like 8. I think my blades are like 7. None of my gear is 9.
Some of them you got to get those fragment pieces. Like you'll need 6 of them. Like that'll give you 1 of them.
Yeah, I guess I just need to roll around a little bit more and pay attention to the fucking map.
You got to catch all those worms that you.
Oh
pull.
Yeah, I got all those. I got those. But still, I should have more equipment, like more stuff to get my stuff maxed out. But I keep switching deals, man. I'm rocking all. I'm changing my shit up every. Right now, I'm rocking the. Okay, I can read it for you right now. Like, where's the controller at? Yeah, the shit I'm rocking right now is the armor is the Curious of Raven Tears. That's the one that like has a low chance to give you healing mist.
Okay, that's the one you get from finding the ravens.
Yeah, that's at 7. And then I got the wrist, the whole piece, the whole set piece, basically. The one, if you wear one piece, then you get 15% healing, increasing from health, stones, rage, and gear. So I got both of them, so 30%. So when I do activate that, the chest piece for the healing mist, it gives me 30% more back. So I just got to work on my defense a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
I use the Steinborn armor.
Which one is that?
I think that's how you pronounce it. The one where when you take critical damage, you basically regen health when you hit the enemy on hit.
I don't even know if I got that one. I haven't seen that.
You get it from killing some trolls.
Oh, those trolls. Like, okay, I haven't even fucked with those trolls yet.
Trolls.
Okay, the ones where you wake them up and shit. Like, yep. Okay, I don't even have that item.
That's what I used to beat the game. I maxed it out.
What?
I kind of wanted to use that radiant scale armor.
I need to. Where did you get the piece? Okay, so where do you get the piece for that? Because where do you get that piece to wake them up? That little chime or whatever? Because I saw that shit.
Tears Temple.
Okay.
It's around there.
So you
gotta throw your spear into like this piece of ice and then break it open.
Okay.
And then when you go in there, you open up a chest and then you take that, equip it as a relic, play it at the trolls.
What's the name? What's the name of the fuck? I might have it. Fuck. Let me get the line.
I think it's Mystic something.
You gotta. Okay. You gotta. It goes on your.
It's a relic.
Okay.
Circle button, or that's what it was for me. But it's just a relic. But yeah, I went and got that like ASAP. Honestly, I could have changed out the what is it? The pants and the gloves, and you get a chest. So yeah, the chest is what actually gives you the ability to gloves or the other 2 pieces basically increase your stun. Like it'll randomly add to the stun meter and stagger the enemy.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah.
But you know what? I think I really could have did well with that poison armor.
I tried it. I've been trying to do the poison, man, and it helps, but I gotta have something kind of giving me some, especially when it's 1-on-1. Okay, cool, but like whenever you fight more than one, it gets very dicey because they interrupt you, and some of the moves that you have, they tell you, hey, it's gonna give you a defensive buff. So in other words, I'm thinking, okay, well, if I hold down R2 and I'm going for my little sideways slash with my axe, then I should have armor on that as I'm attacking, but not these motherfuckers. No. Okay, they can run right through you like a marathon. So it just depends.
I parried a lot.
Yeah, see,
like I typically don't parry that much, but this game, my parry game was proper.
You got to get it proper, yeah, because I'm not even using a parry shield. I'm using a heavy shield, so I'm just taking hits.
Pick that guy up.
And using that. I've been rocking that. So yeah, man. Like I said, that's another cool thing I like about the game, the different shields, and even there's technically 2 different times you got the heavy and the light, but each shield still has their own perks. There's one shield, if you hold down the block button for a certain period of time, it activates it and it starts glowing, and you can double tap it and you can get some stun damage off of that. There's a lot of different things that
I saw one where it's like a shield charge. Like
yeah, that's the one.
Run into him with it.
Yep. I know. Okay, now that's a different one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That one too. I've tried that one. That one doesn't mess with the bosses like that. And like, okay, perfect example. Like one of the moves that I use with my blades, I love where you can stick the blade in them, and then you pull yourself to them and you ram into them for a stun. Right? You can't do that with these bosses, man. That shit bounces right off that armor. It's a no-go.
That's why I like the R2 with the blades, where you throw both of the blades into them and then you send the fire down the chains. I like.
Does that work on them? Because I tried that. This shit bounces right off of them too.
It does.
It does it. It bounces off their armor, man. That's the thing about that armor. And did you find the Valkyrie yet? I found her ass, man, on accident.
How'd that go?
And you know what, bro? It did not go well. Because once you do it, you trap. Like once you activate it, you kind of like stuck in there, and you can't. You have to. I said I wasn't trying to fight her, but I had to, test my gangster. And I mean, I hit her with like a solid 3-piece, and it didn't hardly do anything, bro.
Wow.
She was like, "What? Is that all you got?" Like, and guess where she's at? She's right in the fucking area where you go. In the area where you go do all the trials at.
The Mossville?
Yeah, she's over there. Yeah, that's where she's at.
Really?
That's where she's at. Not far either.
I might have to go check her out today.
Yeah, she's over there. And I'm not messing with her until I got fully, everything got to be 9 at least, man. And like I said, I don't even feel right fighting these dudes when my shit ain't up to par. When I get everything 9 and everything, okay, cool. No excuses now. You just better get good. But
yeah, that's why I maxed out my.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm not slapping like I should be on some of these, or none of that. So, I've gotten close, but man, it's a challenge. I like it though. I like it, and this is one I'm going to be playing for the foreseeable future. I just love this game. I love Kratos, and I can play this shit and die 100 times and still be playing it. On the other hand, when we talking about like Elden Ring, no, I'm not gonna be doing all that extra shit. But that's who we got for a game of the year. It's gonna be Elden Ring, or it's gonna be God of War, and it's gonna be divided. It's already divided and split. Most people who think Elden Ring is good, they also think God of War is good, but they, one of them has a slight edge. Is what it's like. You know what I mean? Because I did fuck with Elden Ring. I did appreciate it for what it is. But, I'm biased. Call me whatever you want to call me. Love Kratos. Love God of War, the franchise. Especially this 2018 and beyond franchise version. This is what I'm here for. So, this is my game of the year.
There was a better, more cohesive story on God of War. I could definitely give it that.
Yes. And like I said, I'm here for the stories. The stories is what makes these games what they are, to me, a great story. Red Dead Redemption 2, like those kind of campaigns, that's what I live for.
I've been playing that actually. I just installed it, running it back.
Yeah, I definitely run that story back.
I never beat it.
Yeah, I did.
Bought it, played it a little bit, and stopped.
Yeah, I definitely run that story back. I would do that again too, because I think they got it. They got an upgraded version on that as well for the PlayStation 5. I'm not sure.
I think so.
Matter of fact, Witcher 3, they're doing that. Matter of fact, Witcher 3 is, if it's not out now, it's coming out any time now. They've got a upgraded version, so that might be something to jump into on a backlog tip eventually again on running through the PS5. So my backlog is crazy right now. Actually, it's got a lot of shit that's yet to be played. So, and you were talking about the Callisto Protocol, right? They want to jump on that.
Definitely getting that.
Yeah, December 2nd. That's coming soon.
I like third person.
Yeah,
it's got that.
Third person.
Even the horror side isn't what really pulls me in. It's more the survival piece.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get that. Trust me, you're gonna get that in spades. So that's definitely something.
I want to see what type of character development they had, because I was watching some of the trailers, and he starts out in like that prison jumpsuit, but eventually he gets like a spacesuit.
Oh yeah, you got to check out the developers. They got a series, man, that you can check out.
Yeah, I've been watching them.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't seen them break down the suit yet though.
Okay, I mean that's what I like about, I guess, current times in the gaming community, or just any community you want. Like, there's so much you can get from whatever it is you're looking for out there now, and you can get it in spades, man. Like anything you want to know, new game releases and all that, they always have these cool things where you can actually get in the developers' heads. They invite you in, and you get to actually just get your feel of the excitement you're looking forward to when playing whatever game it is that you want to play.
And even fans doing lore videos.
Yeah, all of that, man. All of that shit,
get
crazy.
All that background.
Everything. All of that shit is dope. You know what I mean? Like in the anime community.
Because I watched a couple God of War where they just basically talked about the story from the very beginning.
The very beginning, yep. The very beginning caught you up with the character and all that. And that's cool for somebody because, you're not going to be able to play everything. And new generations, like it's kids now, they don't know the old God of War. They don't know the old Kratos, the young Kratos. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The PS2 days and the fucking PSP Kratos. Like, so... yeah, you can get that information. You can get caught up on all that stuff easily now, just on your phone right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, that's why this one, like, I like the axe, but I still had to pull them Chaos Blades in their life, man.
Oh yeah, you got to mix it up. I mean, one thing I started using on these fucking these champions is because when you're using one, as soon as you switch to the other one's usually active, like the attacks are ready, like. So I use them up, if anything, just to use those special attacks and then go back. You know what I mean? Because you're wasting.
Oh, they all on a separate cooldown?
Yeah, they like, when I switch them, my shit is active, ready to go. Like I start with the axe, make sure I empty that out. Then I go to the blades, and the blades is ready to cook. Then after that, I go to the spear. And,
oh man, that spear, oh, yeah. Lovely.
Talking about the spear, the third new weapon. They had to do it to us. They had to do it to us. And it's a great weapon. It's definitely... I
didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did.
They hooked it up. They definitely hooked it up. And that's what I'm saying. That's what makes this one better than 2018. Just a step up. Just a slight step, because they just added a few new mechanics, man, to it, and it just make the difference.
New for us, old for Kratos, because he said, hey, man, this spear, I know
enemy
this
types as well. Like, there's so many enemy types. Like, there's dragons. I only fought one dragon. So, and there's apparently like 3 dragons. I think it's more than one dragon in the game. I know that. So I beat one of them. And like I said, there's still lots of things after even beating the game that's there to discover, And my favorite character of the game is probably going to be Freya for me, because I love Valkyries. And I've always liked... she was the queen of the Valkyries, man. There's a couple other badass Valkyries, though. Sigrun is the one that we played. That was the final one in the first game. And then the other one is, I think, Gna. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Gna. That's the one I ran into earlier or last night. So they definitely put some Valkyries in your life. You actually got to fight 2 of them at the end. Towards the end of the game, which they weren't really challenging, like to me, like, to be honest with you.
Oh, them last 2?
Those last 2, yeah. Those, and I wasn't the only person that felt that way. I was looking at somebody else, and they were talking about it, because the Valkyries in the first game, the other Valkyries were harder than them, if I'm being honest. I still remember those fights with some of those Valkyries, man, and, banging my head against the wall, like someone were frustrated.
I thought it was just because I had just improved that much. They didn't know what it was.
Nah, man. They just want it because it kind of feels like, it's a set piece. So they don't want to make it like, insanely difficult story wise. Like, if you notice all the story missions, the only mission that really had me kind of scratching my head, the only fight that was like, damn, this fight is ridiculous, was against how you pronounce his name? Hemdall.
Hemdall.
Yeah, Hemdall, whatever. Because I couldn't touch him. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm not touching him. Then I had to really just study and figure out when you saw the yellow fucking ring. Then
I just kept throwing spears.
Yeah, that's when you had to catch him.
Detonate him, throw him at his feet.
Yeah,
all kind of stuff. But that was one of my favorite kills in the game.
Oh yeah, he savagely got taken out the game. And like, if you remember, we
tried not to do it.
Remember, we talked about that.
He even blew off his arm with the spear. Yeah. I forgot about that piece. Yeah. Like, hey man, don't do it.
First, he had him impaled into the wall. He could have easily just, all right, I'll eventually take this out of your arm and cool. And like I said, Kratos, every god in this game that he had a chance to fight, that he had a chance to kill, he gave them a choice, and they chose. Like most gods who are insulted and feel like, they've been embarrassed or whatever, they want a worthy death. And he gave it to him. He tried to let you make it. But Kratos is going to give it to you, man, if you ask for it. That's what I'm saying.
When he blew his arm off, I was like, hold on, we got to remember who we talking about here. Like
that's what I'm saying. You can't never. Kratos is not to be played with. He's not to be trifled with. Okay. And that's what I love about him. Because he's just sounds so savage, but there's the
they did a good job with the executions and everything in this game.
Yeah, they did. They really did. They killed the executions for sure. They did.
All the weapons was different.
Yep.
Even the spear had some nasty ones.
Yeah, they did. Definitely. Still got some dope stuff. All of them are great weapons. Like I said, you'll be hard pressed to pick a favorite. By what they have to offer. I mean,
that was one thing I liked about it too. Like, I'm not too good with games with a whole bunch of combos and different moves to learn, but this was one game, and I guess the way they developed it, like, I really used everything on the tree at a certain time for all the weapons and was very effective with it all.
Yeah. You got plenty to work with. You definitely
because the first one, not the first one, but 2018, I really didn't customize. Spec my character. Like, I just used the same couple moves, and if they couldn't get it done, it wasn't happening. But this game, I felt like I could use like everything. Pick your poison.
Yeah, they're different. There truly are different builds too, like that you can kind of do here. Like, definitely. So, and I'm like I said, the game's been out for a couple weeks. That's it. So I'm anxious to see what else is going to be uncovered, because I think they got some stuff in here, man, that they got hidden up under some cracks and crevices that some people are going to start finding. And I mean by other enemies, because I've heard reviewers talk about, 40 hours in the game and I'm still fighting new enemy types. Really? Where are you going? What's going on in game? And they play it really well. They wrote it like the banter between the characters after the game is over with. I mean, there's still shit they left out here to do. So there's things to uncover. There's still areas. And one thing, this is my only one quarrel that I've just, Jotunheim. Okay. I go to Jotunheim and shit. I'm thinking, we gonna get to explore this whole fucking realm. But we didn't. Unless I missed something, because it was only one small area there. Now we got to explore it with Atreus, but I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna get to explore it too, but apparently, no, that was just for Atreus and them. I mean, did you get to go anywhere with Kratos other than that area when you went to go talk to his friend, which is her name? It's really hard to pronounce. I think it's called like Angraboga. I think that's how you pronounce it.
No, I didn't go with Kratos.
You didn't go to Jotunheim?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Went to Helheim.
Jotunheim.
What was your favorite zone?
Jotunheim is the most beautiful. If I had to pick one, Jotunheim with Atreus when you was there with the girl and her, y'all were doing y'all's thing out there. I really like that area. I'd have to say it was that area. But if I had to say,
I like Vanaheim. Okay,
if my favorite place though, like out of all the God of War, I'm including 2018 in this as well, because is Helheim, man. And if I had to prove at my favorite area in the whole both games combined. It's Helheim. It's that area where you fought that fucking troll. I don't know if you remember or not, but in the background, that fucking bird, that big ass bird, was sitting down in a chair or some shit, and that bird is supposed to signify Ragnarok. You remember in the first game, the 2018 game, it looked like a fucking crow. It was just this giant ass bird. And it was just, you don't remember that? Off in the distance. I thought it was going to be a boss fight at first. I was like, I'm waiting for that fucking bird to just get up and just come and attack me. But
like that Garm fight where you had to fight that big dog?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a dog. Yeah, that's where we fought. It was in that area. But in the first game, instead, we were fighting this big giant troll. And in the background, in the distance, that bird was just watching, like just sitting. It was a huge ass bird. And it was like sitting down, like in a chair, and was just watching us. And I thought after I beat this troll, oh, this bird's going to come out. But the bird never, it just still stayed there just watching after it was over. And then that ship.
The boss fights were good.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, it was so, I got this shit screen saved somewhere. Like I used to, you know, it used to be my screensaver when I trade and swap it out my PS4. But yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, that fight was cool too. That area, that fight, that boss fight, I thought was awesome. Open up all those rifts, you know what I'm saying, in all the different areas and shit. They were so mad at him for that. It's so much shit in this game, guys. I mean, if you haven't played it, if you're listening to this and you just, like, you don't have a PlayStation or you don't plan on playing it or whatever, and you don't care about the spoilers, I mean, it's still, even after hearing all the spoilers, and there's so many more that we can't even, it's not enough time to talk about everything. But these are just high points and stuff. There's so many things this game has to offer. And I told you guys last week that this is a game that even if you don't play it now, and if you're a gamer, that you should add this to your bucket list at some point. It could be 2 or 3 years from now. It could be on a PlayStation 4. There's no excuse not to play this game eventually before it's said and done. This is one of those games that are franchises, period, that needs to be, in my opinion, experienced. If you're a bona fide, you call yourself a bona fide gamer. That's just me. You know, some people are more casual gamers, and that's fine too, you know. But I do this shit for sport. Like I play shit. I play shit constantly. It's like my book. You know, a lot of people like reading books. This is what this is to me, and I'm sure a lot of you out there listening to the show. And it's just good content. It's a great IP, and Santa Monica Studios have outdone themselves, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do next. I mean, that's how I feel about this franchise. I love him. I love Kratos and Atreus, and I'm just proud to own these games. And that's all I really have to say about that. You know, just go play it, man. I mean, it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be next week, but eventually you guys should play it. If PC players, all the PC Master Race people out there listening, you know, you should get this eventually as well. I mean, they usually let you guys play these games 6 months to a year after the game's release, but you need to experience it one way or the other. That's all I'm saying. Because I think the next God of War game, because there will be more God of War games, trust me. There will be more, and I can't wait to see what they do with the Unreal Engine 5, because that's going to be like the next wave of games that are coming out. We've seen it in Tekken, the new Tekken game that's coming out. If you guys haven't seen that shit, check it out. I mean, Tekken is going to change the face. It's been using the same engine for years, and now it goes from that to the Unreal Engine 5. It's going to be crazy. Street Fighter 6 is also using it. That's going to be exciting. And then these other games that are coming out, all these other games that are coming out, man, that Unreal Engine 5
a game that could have used it, that Pokemon.
Oh, yes, Pokemon. Let's talk a little bit about Pokemon. Shit, it's on the table. Yeah, I was literally driving the other night, driving around, about to go home. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And GameStop was like a club. It looked like a club was letting out. I was like, man, what's going on? Man, I had forgot. I said, was something out that I didn't catch? And lo and behold, it was fucking Pokemon. What was it? Scarlet and Violet. And it came out $60 a piece. The Pokemon heads were out, and You can't tell a Pokemon fan a damn thing. They're going to play these games. They're going to buy them.
And they know it.
Exactly. Good, bad, or indifferent. They're, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of shit that has been going around, if you guys aren't familiar or don't know about Pokemon right now, these new Pokemon games. And there's a lot of glitches and there's a lot of technical issues right now in this game. And the company the developers who made this game, they go by the name of Game Freak. I don't know much about them.
Didn't they make all the other ones?
They've done some other things. I don't know exactly what else they've done.
They did a lot of the Pokemons in the past.
But people are really upset. The Pokemon players, they're mad because they think that Game Freak should be able to do better than this.
Especially with all the money they made. I think that's a very reasonable...
especially what they're charging. Man, you two separate games.
Yeah.
And it's like Pokemon with Nintendo, it's like one of their top IPs, man. They're going to make that money. And you would think giving a developer this kind of job that they weren't going to drop the ball like they did, because this, I think, is the lowest game that Nintendo has had for one of their first party games. This is one of the lowest. Usually Nintendo's first party games, you're going to get you at least an 8, okay, or higher. Because those are first party games that the devs get to actually work on. They know the hardware inside and out, and they're able to do things with it and stretch it to its limits. That's why you got games, these other games like, there's one that just came out, a huge RPG game, Chronicles something. I can't think of it. I don't play that franchise, but it's a popular franchise for the Nintendo Switch, and it's a huge game. And those devs have done an outstanding job on that game. I've seen reviews on it. I've seen people talk about it. But most of their games, Nintendo's games, they're gonna treat it with kid gloves when they're creating something. And I guess Game Freak dropped the ball with this, man. The Pokemon series is too big to be dropping the ball on technical issues and shit like that with this. Now, I know the Nintendo Switch is being stretched a little too thin as far as the hardware, and it's about time for a new system. But still, that's what Nintendo's been known for. That's why people love them, because it's really not about their graphics when it comes to Nintendo. It's more about just their IPs and what they have to offer. They have some pretty cool IPs. A lot of their games aren't graphic intensive, but that's not why people play them. They still can make a great game. The Metroid games, like I said, Bayonetta 3, there's so many games that I love on the Switch. And I'll tell anybody right now, you need a Switch in your library. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch in your library, you're missing out on some very great games.
I hate it because I was thinking about grabbing a Switch to play this.
And
I am that much a Pokemon fan.
You should definitely. It's a game of Pokemon. Yeah, there's a lot. But there's some other ones too that
would have been worth it.
Yeah, there's some other ones that came out that are pretty decent from what I'm hearing as well. And then you also have. You have the Smash Brothers. You have a lot of the things that Nintendo brings to the table, man. I'm not gonna lie and say that there's some dope shit. A lot of indie games too. Like that's my indie go-to machine for that. Ghost Song, that game I was telling you about. I'm gonna buy it for the Switch. It's $20. I got it on Xbox Game Pass, but I love that game so much. One guy made that shit. I gotta pay homage to games like that. But there's a lot of games like that on the Switch that people, don't even see. And the indies, they got the indie game on lock. It's like a baby Steam Deck to me, because there's a lot of games that you can just take on the go. I get sales every few weeks. I'll check, and there's sales, and I'm buying games for anywhere from $2 to $5. I don't really go over 10. And you can get a lot of games like that with the Switch. So you got a fat memory card with a lot of space on it. Man, boom, sky's the limit on that. But yeah, man, highly recommend that. Anybody out there, that Nintendo, there's a reason why they're even above, believe it or not, Sony as far as units out there in the world right now. Okay, they're highly sought after. And like I said, it just goes to show you it doesn't have to be the best graphics. It's not always about that. So Yeah, the Pokemon thing, man. I hope that they get this shit fixed for you guys, all the Pokemon players. Yo, hopefully they get it.
Would you actually buy it if they did?
I was looking at it, and I would.
Or maybe even your son? I don't know.
Oh yeah, he definitely would. He would definitely do it because, like I said, he's in the Pokemon shit now. I just bought him some Pokemon cards the other
He ain't
day.
ask about it?
Asked about what?
If he can get it.
No, he don't. I asked him did he want to
It ain't
switch
on his radar?
for Christmas. I asked him did he want to switch, and he said no. We have one, but he wants he just wants an upgrade from his Xbox One. So
I think there's a side to that Pokemon thing that obviously I wouldn't have had. I've been playing that since it came out back when Red and Blue dropped. I don't even remember what year it is, but that's when I became a Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
And I remember playing with my friends at school, even all the way back then, had to have your little connector cable. I can only imagine playing that game now at their age, going home on the weekend, open world, going to catch these guys, going to school on Monday, battling it out, doing it co-op.
They did it at my old job, man, some years back. Like these were 45-year-old, 50-year-old dudes, man, with the 3DSs up there going in on Pokemon. Like those games now, some of those older games, those older Pokemon games, I dare you to try to find that shit for under a set amount of dollars. You're not gonna find it. They're gonna be pricey as hell.
My Red and Blue.
They're gonna be pricey as hell, and those are some of the funner Pokemon games from what I remember. At least they looked like it to me. Like Pokemon is a phenom. I'm not arguing that. It never caught on. I never caught on to it because Pokemon came out right around the same time. It started getting really popular when Dragon Ball was out. And it was a fork in the road. There was a Pokemon and there was Dragon Ball, and I went Dragon Ball, and hadn't looked back since, man. And we got some Dragon Ball shit to talk about too. I'm gonna dust y'all with some Dragon Ball shit. A lot of actual news coming from the Dragon Ball universe, man, that I'm proud and excited to announce, guys, because this used to be a Dragon Ball podcast, like it was in the name. You know what I mean? So yeah, that. If you're new to the show, Dragon Ball was like, it was what popped my anime cherry. Okay. It was got me into anime, and I fell down the anime rabbit hole. And I thank Toriyama for that, forever. He's the GOAT. But anyway, speaking of Dragon Ball, while we're on the subject, there's a lot of shit popping in the Dragon Ball community, in the Dragon Ball world right now. A lot of these are rumors, but the guy who is bringing all this shit up, he goes by on Twitter, at DBS 2019, and then add a 1 at the end of that. He's supposedly this big Dragon Ball guy, one of the guys who has his ear to the Dragon Ball streets, and he's up on game for a lot of the shit. Well, apparently there is a new arc coming out that's going to center around Goten and Trunks. Okay, which I'm excited about because, man, these guys have been missing for so long. And if you caught the movie, the last movie, the Dragon Ball superhero movie, then you got to see them in the movie. And this is my favorite Dragon Ball movie of all time, even better than the Broly movie, which the Broly movie, as far as production, I think was the best ever produced Dragon Ball movie from that standpoint, the technical side. But as far like how everything went, how everything was written in this last movie, so many things they paid homage to. And that's why it's my favorite. But Goten and Trunks was in this, and they're going to get their own arc coming up shortly. Matter of fact, I want to say it starts on the 20th of December, and it's going to be a prequel story. So it's going to be them finding out what they've been doing right before the events of this last movie. So that's cool. They look cool too. Their gear, like if you go and Google it, you can see like some of their stuff that they're wearing and stuff like that. They look dope, man. Really excited for them now. Finally teenagers, been teenagers for a long time in those little kid bodies and shit. But now I'm happy to see what they're going to do next. And also, that's not it. That's not all the news. Even better is we're supposed to be getting some news, some info on a new Dragon Ball anime. And they're talking about, the word is, they're talking about like a what do they call it? A toon kind of like an internet type of weekly internet show. Okay. But the crazy thing about this whole thing is it's not going to be related to Dragon Ball Super. It's not going to be a continuation of Dragon Ball Super or a redo or retelling of Dragon Ball, the original story. This is supposed to be an all new fucking series with all new characters. Now, I'm sure they may graze by or you may come in contact with other characters in the Dragon Ball universe. But as far as the story is concerned and everything like that, that's what the rumors are being talked about. That's what people are saying. And this is going to be crazy. Something brand new that's never been heard of. Like, wow, new Saiyans, I don't know what's going to happen with this. So I'm really hype about that. And they claim that this is going to take place about a month from now because the DVD Blu-ray, Dragon Ball Super superhero movie comes out in December. I think late December is when it's slated to come out. And they're saying that they're going to make an announcement around that time, for future Dragon Ball stuff coming. So I'm excited about that, guys, because I know that the artist and a lot of artists on Dragon Ball have been, basically they're focused on One Piece right now, doing a lot of One Piece stuff. But once they start to wrap up that, which I think they are getting ready to, they're going to focus back on some Dragon Ball shit. And as a Dragon Ball fan, you can't help but love that news right there. So I'm crunk for that shit, man. I cannot wait. And yeah, that's your Dragon Ball news. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Some Dragon Ball stories. We get Gotens. We get fucking Trunks. We got a lot of stuff popping, man. So, and then I'm sure you guys are rubbing your hands together like Birdman, wanting to find out what they're going to do with Gohan. Because all the Gohan fans, we all know this. When that movie came out, man, it was a beautiful thing. Gohan, a new transformation. Piccolo, new transformation. What? Come on, man. You got to love that.
Yeah, them boys is probably crying, man.
Man, Orange Piccolo and fucking, Beast Mode Gohan. Come on, man. It gets no better. I'm not a Gohan fan like that, but man, I got to respect his gangster and what they should have done with him for all these years. Okay. Yeah. So they finally, like I said, finally realized this and heard the fans. And that's what I'm saying. This movie is so special because it's like they heard the fans and they took all the major things that the fans have been saying and they actually did something about it. So if you haven't seen that movie, please go check that movie out. Anyway, that's the Dragon Ball news. Last thing I want to talk about before you get up out of here, though, man, is fucking Harry Potter game that I just, I've been following it, but they had something just happen. I think they just uploaded today or last night, and they gave us a new hour of new gameplay, about an hour worth. And
I want to see the combat.
Hogwarts Legacy, yeah, they show you that. They show the created character mode in there and everything like that. The shit's going to be good. The shit looks.
It definitely looked like they did a good job with the animation.
Yeah, the animation, the graphics is crazy, bro.
Graphics.
Yeah, it looks nice. The motion cap or whatever they're using, it looks phenomenal. So I'm excited. I mean, I was excited when I first saw the gameplay, early stages, and what they were doing with it. And I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. I haven't watched any of the Harry Potter movies. Like, I haven't finished one. I had an ex-girlfriend who is a diehard fan. I remember
my little sister loves it.
You see what I'm saying? I remember for her birthday, I bought her like some Harry Potter shit, like one of the Harry Potter movies that came out. She was she was happy as fuck. So, I might have to sit back and watch it, man. I don't know, because there's a lot of people that say, man, you should check it out. Just for shit. I
forgot to mention my little sister's 32.
Yeah, so, just check it out, man. Yeah,
she ain't a little girl that loves Harry Potter.
I mean, hey, I love Dragon Ball. I'm falling back in love with Ninja Turtles. I've had a resurgence of that, and what got me back into that is that last Ronin story. Has got me into that. The dark version of a dark Ninja Turtle story. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, I've been like into a lot of that. Like, if you guys don't know about that story, definitely check that shit out. You don't even have to like Ninja Turtles to like this story. I mean, it's an awesome story. It's an older version of the Turtles. And I don't want to spoil the book for you, but I'm not. But it's definitely a great story. And it reminds me of, I don't know why, Frank Miller. The art style kind of reminds me of a Frank Miller type art style. If you don't know about Frank Miller, you guys know about Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, man. He's got that Dark Knight Returns feel to it. That's my favorite Batman. There's many, as you know, there's so many versions of a lot of these heroes. But my favorite is Batman, a 55-year-old Batman who's been retired for 10 years and decides to go back out and fight crime. Okay. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It was just, I just love the art style. I love the grittiness, all of that. That was my Batman. But that's what this reminds me of, this story. All the turtles are basically dead, and it's only one of them left. And you don't, through the whole series, you don't know who that last turtle is, which one of them it is. You don't know. And you find out, of course, as you read it, and I'm not going to spoil that for you guys, but because he's wearing they still wear their typical turtle mask or whatever, but it's black. You don't know whose it is. He's scarred up. He's battle ridden, all these things. And
now, is this an anime or manga?
This is a comic. This is a comic book story. Yeah, it's 5 chapters, 5 issues. Matter of fact, they just released a hardcover like not too long ago. Amazon has it for like $25-$30, so you can get all of them in one hardcover book. So I'm starting to get into my comic books now because I got these apps on my iPad, and some of them you can get for free. So I'm trying to like read more manga and read more comics, man. Try to fall back in there because I watch all those YouTubers, Comics Explained, and there's a lot of dope guys like that who break stuff down for you. And some of these stories, man, that's what I'm saying. Some of these stories are ridiculous. It's crazy. So I'm like, yo, I definitely want to get involved in some of this stuff. There's one right now that I just went by real quick, and it's a Wolverine, but it's got to do with Beast from the X-Men. It's on some sinister shit. Like, he's like going after everybody in the group, fucking them up, killing them. He's torturing Cyclops. He's fucking taking pieces of Wolverine's body and chunks of his body and selling it. Like, he's doing like all kind of crazy shit right now. He's kind of trying to create another Minority Report. Where, if you don't remember that movie, is basically, hey, these guys are about to do some evil shit. They haven't done it yet, but they're about to. And before they do that, we want to kill these motherfuckers. Okay, so he sends, right. So he's got the X-Force under his thumb. So he's sending out those guys in X-Force, and which is Deadpool and a whole bunch of other dudes, and just saying, go ahead and take them off the map. I'm not giving them the opportunity or none of that. Just take them off the map. So yeah, it's crazy. And the Beast is one of my favorite X-Men members, man. That's why I'm like, man, I can't believe he's doing this shit. Like, not him. That's the last dude I would think, would be doing this. But it makes for a good story though. It makes for a good story. That's what I'm saying. You think you read everything? Man, you haven't. There's so much shit. Like I said, this Ninja Turtle shit, that shit came out of left field. I did not know there was a Ninja Turtle story like this.
I mentioned I was watching Gungrave, which is actually old, and I enjoyed that, and also Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, Chainsaw Man is definitely the truth. Chainsaw Man is definitely the truth, man. I just hate watching new anime, and wait week to week, man. I'm spoiled. I have to binge my shows, but some I can't resist. Okay, Chainsaw Man, I'm watching that every week. Cool. What else am I watching? There's a lot of them that I'm watching like that. Some newer ones that I've been watching. Engage Kiss. That's another one that I dig that I'm watching. It's a week to week type of thing. But sometimes you got to do that. But there's so many other ones I need to go back to, like One Piece. I need to get back in there. And there's some other anime I definitely want to go back and revisit. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about anime for days, but is that's what you've been watching? So Chainsaw Man, and is that it?
Gungrave.
Oh, Gungrave, yeah. Gungrave and Chainsaw Man. Okay. Those are your main two right now. I haven't had a lot of time to watch anime too much. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of God of War, been doing this type of stuff. But easing my way back in there. Anime is never going anywhere too far for me. Even if I'm just watching one show, a couple shows a week, which is what I'm kind of like doing now. But
you got the new Vinland Saga coming. I saw the trailer for
Oh,
that.
you did? Okay, finally. Shit.
And still waiting patiently for Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Patiently waiting.
The next arc, the next arc for that, for sure. Definitely. R.I.P. Rengoku, man. That's my guy. Straight up.
Get it on a t-shirt.
Love some Rengoku, man. He's the guy. He's definitely the guy. Well, everybody check out that Hogwarts Legacy video if you get a chance. Google it. It's all over the place. Even if you're not into, Harry Potter, just look into it, man. It's kind of got that. It's kind of got vibes of the game that's coming out next year, the Square Enix game that they're doing with the magic and stuff in it, with the female protagonists and stuff. It's got a little bit of that in there. I don't know, just something about them spells and stuff, man, running around here. And then there's everybody keeps talking about dark magic. Like, I guess it's a forbidden magic that at their school that you're not supposed to be doing it or anything like that in that world of Harry Potter. And they're saying that you actually can start to explore that type of stuff if you wanted to. So I'm guessing you can kind of go bad or evil if you wanted to, I guess. I don't know. Or can you even practice the dark magic and still be good? Can you be like I don't know. The name I think of when I think of that is like somebody like a Mace Windu. Dude's rocking the lightsaber, the different color lightsaber, but he's a Jedi though. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's interesting though. Definitely can't wait to sink my fingers into this. I'm going to be playing this one. It's you got those mechanisms in your brain. It's going to click on, it's going to click off, and your mind is made up for certain games. Like, I'm going to play this or I'm not going to play that, and that's just that's just what it is. So that for me, that's definitely going to happen. I can't wait to create my character and put him out there. And what's also cool about this game, though, I will say, is that you don't have to know anything about the Harry Potter series to play this, because the timeline takes place, I want to say, before. I can't remember if it's before or after.
I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, I think it's before, but don't let me get the line. Yeah, so they were saying that, anybody can come into this and not worry about all of that. You learn a lot of the stuff playing this game. So that's exciting as well. So don't have to worry about that. But yeah, man, I want to appreciate you from coming on the show. I don't have a lot of guests. Yeah, man. Anytime. We don't have a lot of guests. I don't have a lot of guests anymore. And basically because I don't like, for people, my fans that are listening, I don't like depending on people for that type of stuff all the time, man, because you get in the habit of trying to set stuff up and things happen, of course. And I don't like telling you guys like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and do that, have this on here. And then it doesn't happen like that. So I'd rather just kind of surprise you if I do have a guest on here. And, people are busy. People have things, it's hard. It's harder than it sounds, than one may think, to get somebody, another adult who has their own responsibilities and things, and try to coordinate, especially when you have kids and all that. It makes it hard. Like, we had to literally coordinate this to make this happen. He had to make sure his kid, his situation was straight. And I had to definitely make sure my situation was straight, because if not, man, you guys would be pissed. Like, what's going on in the background and all that? We can't have it like that. So that's why. But I try to bring bring new things on when I can. And, there may be a couple other occasions we do this, and you may hear somebody else on here from time to time in the future, but, I'll let those be surprises. I like doing my shit solo. So I know I can depend on me 100% of the time. That's just how I roll. Anyway, yeah, man, I want to thank everybody for listening, downloading, streaming the podcast. If you're new to the podcast, guys, thank you guys for coming by. I hope to see you guys again. We do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. So definitely come back. Also, if you guys love the show and if you want to show a little bit more support, please don't be afraid to check out StudioMacGyver.com. Anything purchased there will definitely go towards helping out the show. Also, all my Dragonball fans out there, if you want to show some love, check out DragonballDrip.com. Also, anything there, hoodies, cups, hats, whatever, anything about there will also go towards helping out the show. That being said, guys, I'll see you guys next week. We're going to be back. I don't know what's going to be on the horizon, but the Game Awards are coming up pretty soon, so be looking out for that. We should have a lot of dope announcements. I'm going to get out of here. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver. And this is also my homie, Dig247. And you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.